Hey guys, happy Monday and welcome to our third episode of Mastery Monday, where every Monday I'm talking about the biggest skill gaps we're seeing in the market so that you can literally finish this video and go and implement the best practices. And this week I want to talk to you about ghosting. So ghosting sucks. We all experience it. I still experience it to this day. However, you can take steps to prevent it from happening as much, and there is a powerful strategy that you can deploy, which I'm going to give you today, that you can use when you are being ghosted. Okay, so the three things I'm going to be covering today is why you're being ghosted in the first place, things that you can look out for to avoid it, the steps that you can actually take to prevent it from happening more times than it doesn't, and then the 5-step ghosting playbook. So let's get into it today. So why you're being ghosted in the first place. So one of the big reasons why you get ghosted, especially after like that first discovery call, is buyers fear confrontation. Okay, we don't want to get into a objection handling debate where they say no, you say why, they say this, you say that. It's easier for them to say yes and then not to follow through. That's why sometimes on a cold call, if you like try and handle too many objections, they just go, okay, go on, then I'll agree to a meeting, and then they no-show. It's because they just don't want the confrontation. They don't want to have the conversation. They'll just get out of there, and then they won't follow through, and then you're just really frustrated. And really, if you actually look back at the execution, you would have noticed a couple of things that you could have done differently. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why you're being ghosted. Another reason is lack of impact from the problem. You have to realize in the economy, the world that we live in today is very different to what it was 4, 5, 6 years ago when people would just buy stuff for the sake of it. Now they're struggling to get their business case approved without there being good value or reason to do it. So if there's no big burning problem, I say hair on fire a lot, then why are they going to go out of their way to do it? So if you can't solve a big problem, they'll typically ghost you, especially if you don't give them a way out. Okay. Number 3, unclear value from the seller. So a lot of sellers, unfortunately, aren't trained on how to articulate business value. Their onboarding plan is all about product. Here's our product. These are the features. This is how they work. Here's our knowledge base. Go read that like a Bible. Jump on a demo. Show them everything. Like, you might laugh, but that is the reality of onboarding for most sales reps. Okay. So if you're not clear on the value, then the prospect is going to have, which is point number 4, confidence in the status quo. Okay, in most cases, they are getting the job done without you. It might not be perfect. It might be super clunky, very inefficient, might be costing them money, but it's getting the job done. If you can't articulate value in the better way of doing it with you, they're going to opt for status quo. Okay, so I've got 6 ghosting signals in our ghosting course. One of them is non-committal language. That's going to be stuff like, let me circle back, or we'll have to have a think about it, or maybe they're using lots of maybes or possiblies inside of the conversation they're having with you. You need to be really present in the conversation. And if you start to hear that, guys, we get paid a lot of money in sales for asking hard questions. You must tackle this head on. Otherwise, you're going to invest hours and hours of time with people only to get stuck late in the sales process with a deal that was never going to close anyway, or they'll start to ghost you, which is really frustrating, and you start to kind of beat yourself up because you spent so much time and you don't understand why this is happening. But there's usually signals, and we just need to look out for them. So that's kind of why you're being ghosted in most cases. A lot more to it, but just keeping that at a really high level. Now, some of the steps that you can actually take to prevent it from happening is knowing what we know now. Let's give people a way out. So based on those signals and things like that, if we were to actually give people a way out early in the sales process, most of the time they would take it because it would be avoiding confrontation. So they would actually say, hey, really enjoyed this chat, James. Thanks for sharing, the capability. I don't think this is for us right now. I'm like, cool. Like, if I've done a really good job in discovery and I agree with that, I'm going to say, hey, look, no worries. Let's part ways. Maybe come back, 6 months, have another check-in then? Yeah, that sounds fair enough. Okay, great. I'll stay in touch and I'm going to nurture them. Okay. Now, if they're not interested, they'll take it. And if they are interested, they'll opt in. So the beauty of this approach, I'm going to give you the talk track in just a second, is imagine like you're walking someone down the driveway and at the bottom there's 2 front doors. Door number 1 is we keep talking, come in for a coffee. Door number 2 is thanks, I'm going home alone. right? Give people the option, and if they're interested, they'll pick the right door. There's always the right door. If they're interested, great. If they're not interested, great. Like, I want to know that as soon as possible. I can go and deploy the rest of my resources on opportunities that are interested, or go and find other opportunities that are interested. Okay. It's not a home run, but your conversation and your conversion rates will improve by giving people a way out. So it kind of sounds a bit like this. At the end of a discovery call, or you can use it, there's different versions for demos and other calls, but I might say, hey, Sarah, really enjoyed our chat today. Thanks for answering all of my questions. I think we can really help you close your team's skill gaps around pipeline generation and pipeline management. These conversations usually go one of two ways. I'd love your feedback. You see this as like a top priority, and you need to start solving this problem in the next 1 to 2 months. It kind of can't wait any longer. Or number two is that this is more of a nice to have, and it could wait like 6 to 12 months, like the house isn't on fire kind of thing. Now, just so that you and I are aligned, 'cause I think that's really important, which one do you think best describes our situation? And then just go quiet. And what you're doing is you're summarizing, hey, really enjoyed our chat today. Thanks for being open around the questions that I asked. I think we can really help you out about 2 things that you told me were a challenge. These conversations go one of 2 ways, but you're in a driving seat. You tell me, where do we go from here? And if people genuinely aren't interested, they'll go for option 2. I'm okay with that. I know I'm not going to win 100% of opportunities, even with a high win rate. I'm going to lose some. I want to lose them fast, as long as I've done a good job. And the ones that are interested, if they genuinely want to solve the problem, they'll opt in for next steps. Yeah, I'm not trying to close the deal there. I'm just trying to get confirmation that next steps makes good business sense for both of us. Okay, so give them a way out. Less ghosting happens when you do that. Okay, now what to do when you are being ghosted is, I call this the go, no go playbook. If you go to my LinkedIn recommendations, you'll see a rep actually deployed this on an opportunity that was ghosting them for ages. They deployed this. A couple of weeks later, they signed a 3-year contract with that prospect. Okay, so again, in the course, I break down this 5-step playbook for when you are being ghosted. I'm going to jump straight to step 5 to give you the best one, because I think it's the most valuable. So what you do is you basically open up a calendar invite, 15-minute calendar invite, and the subject of the invite is go/no go. In the body of the invite, you put, hey Sarah, stick in a quick catch up on the calendar to discuss if we should go or no go with this project, and then just send it to them. Don't ask for permission, just send it to them. And 3 things are going to happen, and I personally see that all 3 of them as a win. So the first win is they accept the meeting invite. Great, I'm back on the books with them. 2, if they propose a new time, great, I'm starting to get somewhere. They still want to talk, they just proposed a new time. Great, that's a win for me. The next win doesn't feel like a win at the time, but it really is. They hard decline the invite, and inside of the course, you send the email template that I suggest to them, and they don't reply to that. That's a massive win, because I can just get rid of them, put them into a nurture state, stay front of mind every 30 days with some marketing content, some resources, some other helpful assets, and just stay front of mind and see if I can get an opportunity from them later. But again, that's a win, because I can just get rid of that out of my pipeline and just focus on really well qualified opportunities that want to do something with someone. Okay, so I've got an exercise before we wrap up today's Mastery Monday. I want you to pull up a list of all of your most recent ghosted opportunities. Think the last 60 days. I want you to send them a calendar invite. No go as the subject. Put the body in, hey, first name, stick in a quick catch up on the calendar to discuss if we should go or no go with this project. And just see how many deals that you can recover. If you take the time, guys, to execute what you're learning, and you stick to it, and you don't try and run like a million experiments at any one time, you will get wins. You've just got to keep swinging the bat and just be adaptable, try new things, okay? So thanks for sticking around with me to the very end. I hope you got value from this session. If there's a topic you'd love me to focus on in an upcoming Mastery Monday, let me know in the comments or drop me a LinkedIn message, and I'll prioritize that. We want to be making content for you. Otherwise, we're just going to go through our playbook and some of the stuff we're working on with other organizations. If you haven't already joined our brand new free sales training app, go and do it. There's loads of resources on there, like live training, the recordings are there, other resources and cheat sheets. There's a link on my profile, or again, send me a DM to get access to that. I'll see you for our next episode of Mastery Monday.